All right, Destination Devy fam, welcome back to the station, Destination Devy. We got some breaking news today. We found out that DeVonta Smith is only 166 pounds. 166 pounds. This is breaking news. Now, let me say this again. When he weighed in at his pro day before, he was 170 pounds. And today, or at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, we found out he weighed in at 166 pounds. What a travesty. What a hit to his draft stock. What on earth are we going to do now? How can we possibly draft DeVonta Smith? Well, I'm here to tell you.
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me. Hurt my feelings.
The fact that he has been the main topic of discussion all day long, asinine, blasphemous. It makes no sense. I cannot begin to describe just how annoying it is that every day there's another knock on another player who is tremendously talented. And so I was talking to Ray a little bit earlier, and we were talking about what's up with this. Like, we knew he was skinny. Ray calls him the Slim Reaper. You know, I leave that nickname to Kevin Durant, but dude's 166 pounds, 170 pounds, whatever. Who cares? Like, if you have concerns about that, okay, they shouldn't change, though, whether he weighs in at 170 or 166. You should feel the exact same about him as you did before. You want to complain about his late breakout? Okay, fine. That's maybe one knock on his profile. But when you turn on the tape, it's pretty clear what DeVonta Smith can do, what he did against top competition, what he could do in the NFL. And one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this today, most importantly, is one, his draft stock may be taking a hit. People may be unsure. Your opinion should not have changed. Nothing breaking actually happened today. Nothing changed with what he can do, can't do, what he weighs. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But what I want to bring up is more of a stylistic comp for DeVonta Smith. And it's not very hard to look. It's very easy to figure out where I'm going because I've already told you about this player. This player is coming off a 1,400-yard season. He was an extremely talented wide receiver at the University of Alabama. It is none other than wide receiver Calvin Ridley. Now you're probably like, well, how are you going to make this comparison? They're so different. Ridley's a little bit shorter and he weighs 20 more pounds. I don't care about that. It's not about looking at the physical metrics all the time. When you look at what Calvin Ridley does well, what are his knocks? What are some of the things people don't like about his game? His hands can be a little inconsistent. Okay, no problem. And I would personally say DeVonta Smith is already better in that department. He already has more sure hands. He's better at the catch point. Something Ridley isn't bad at, but something he's been knocked for in the past. Then you get into things like his route running ability. Elite. One of the best in the league. You can put him up with Stephon Diggs, put him up with Devontae Adams. I think he's right up there. DeVonta Smith, not that great yet. You know, he's still an excellent wide receiver, excellent route runner, but he's not Calvin Ridley, not yet, and that's okay. He's got time to develop. No problem. Ridley, again, an older prospect. Another reason why he got knocked, why people wanted DJ Moore ahead of him, was because, you know, he's a little bit older, didn't produce till an older age, so he's dominating against younger players, you know, all this whole narrative that analytics guys like to run with. It is what it is. There's data to support it, but the tape is what it is as well, and it shows you that DeVonta Smith had no problem playing against anybody. In fact, he pretty much destroyed everybody he went against. There wasn't a corner in all of college football that you could put across from DeVonta Smith, and he probably wouldn't put 100 on them. Now, you could say the same about Elijah Moore, but again, he's not DeVonta Smith. So what I want to say is that you look at these comparisons, and I would ask you, if I told you that DeVonta Smith could have a career like Calvin Ridley, now in case you forget, Calvin Ridley has never had less than 90 targets, he's never had less than 60 receptions, he's never had less than 800 yards, and he's never had less than 7 touchdowns. Now, the one thing I will say about Calvin Ridley that is unlike a lot of wide receivers in the league is his consistent touchdown production. As I mentioned, he's never had less than 7 touchdowns. We cannot expect that from DeVonta Smith. But one thing we can expect is for him to be a target machine. We don't know how involved he's going to be early, but when you talk about a guy who's definitely going in the top 15 picks more than likely, we can probably assume that he's going to see, 80 to 90 targets in his first season. Again, how mad would you really be if your rookie wide receiver that you drafted in the first round got 90 targets in his first year and 60 receptions, 800 yards, and let's say 5 touchdowns? Why would you be mad about that? No, it's not the Justin Jefferson record-breaking season, or no, it's not CeeDee Lamb doing what he did in Dallas last year, or Brandon Ayuk jumping over fools, but it's still a pretty damn good season historically and not something we should just gloss over. Another reason why I think it's important to talk about this is because when you look at DeVonta Smith comp, a lot of it was Marvin Harrison. And the reason why I'm bringing up Marvin Harrison, again, he's a slender receiver, a little bit older. The exact same comparison that was made for Calvin Ridley by Lance Zierlein in 2018. So when you look at who DeVonta Smith is and you look at who Calvin Ridley is, they are not the same player physically. But if you look at the way their games could translate to the NFL, there's a lot to like there. And that's the main reason why I think that we need to talk about this comparison more. No, it's not a perfect comparison, but if you think DeVonta Smith is only 166 pounds and so he's not going to be able to get yards after the catch, well, Calvin Ridley isn't exactly good at that either. So why are we fooling ourselves into saying that he can't be great when Ridley is currently a wide receiver 1 in fantasy football and honestly, in a lot of ways, a wide receiver 1 in the NFL? It just doesn't make sense to me as to why we're so down on Smith. There is reasons why people don't like him, but there's not a lot of reasons on tape why you don't like him. The weight thing, again, it's all about rack, yards after the catch. I get that people like these statistics, but there are players that can simply overcome these things, especially when they're getting a lot of targets. Calvin Ridley saw 140 targets last year. Can we expect that from Smith? Maybe in year 3, maybe in year 2, probably not in year 1. But again, these players don't need to be Justin Jefferson in their rookie year to be successful. If we're going to constantly need this confirmation bias where we need our player to see 100 targets, we need our running back to get 250, 300 carries, that's how you end up selling Jonathan Taylor, who's like the current RB1 in Dynasty drafts right now. That's how you end up selling Brandon Ayuk before he started to play really well. That's how you ended up selling Justin Jefferson after his first 2 weeks where he hardly played. We need to stop being so reactionary about things that really don't matter. And if they matter to you, there's always a reason to be optimistic about a player and always a reason to be down on them. We can talk about Justin Fields to death. We can talk about DeVonta Smith's weight. We can talk about a lot of players and a lot of reasons to like them and a lot of reasons not to like them. At the end of the day, the way I see it is you are either in the camp where you believe in DeVonta Smith because you believe he can overcome his quote-unquote weight issue, or you don't. And for me, it's like, just pick a side. Don't flip-flop. Don't, waver over 4 pounds. Don't be like Dan Orlovsky talking about how, he knows receivers that have been 200 pounds and can't get off the line of scrimmage. We can see that DeVonta Smith can get off the line. We can see that he can get in out of brace quickly. We can see that he can go over the top on someone. Doesn't matter if he's 166 pounds. That doesn't matter. That didn't stop him from dominating DBs in the SEC each and every week. That didn't stop him from being the go-to guy in Alabama for the last 2 years. Yes, that includes Henry Ruggs. Yes, that includes Jerry Jeudy, former first-round picks. That includes Jalen Waddle, who was injured this year, but also played a little bit last year. And DeVonta Smith, again, played over him. So I'm not really sure what the deal is with Smith's weight. I'm not sure why people care so much. Again, it comes down to turning on the tape. When you turn on the tape, you can clearly see he's a dominant wide receiver. He may not be your ideal. He may not be your perfect wide receiver, but he's a pretty damn good one. And in my opinion, if you believe in a player like Calvin Ridley, if you believe in a player like Marvin Harrison, if you believe that DeVonta Smith could be one of those guys, why aren't you taking him higher in your rookie drafts? Why aren't you putting him higher in your rankings? Because you know that his PPR floor could be extremely high. Because he's, at the end of the day, he's going to be a target machine. He could be a quarterback's best friend and could, just maybe, be a bit of an outlier. He was an outlier in college at 166 pounds. I don't see why he can't be a little bit of an outlier again in the NFL. Like I said, we've seen the ways that he wins, and he wins very similar, in my opinion, to Calvin Ridley. And whether it's a weight issue, doesn't matter if Ridley weighs 160 pounds, 180 pounds, 200 pounds. Chad Johnson, again, believe he weighed in at 170 pounds. But that footwork, that ability to get open, that's what mattered for him. That's why he succeeded in the NFL. These guys are not the norm. But it's not every day a wide receiver wins the Heisman Trophy either. So If you want to consider Smith an outlier, that's fine. But consider him an outlier worth talking about, not one you just want to talk down upon because you don't think he can make it in the NFL. Doesn't mean he won't be successful. Maybe you're not saying that he's going to be a bust, but at least give him the respect he deserves for what he accomplished. So that being said, man, I just wanted to tell you guys about that. I've been very disappointed in what I've seen from some people out there talking about Smith, talking about 4 pounds, like legit 4 pounds. That's crazy. We know who DeVonta Smith is. We know what he can be. That's it, man. It's it. We just got to talk about DeVonta Smith, put some respect on his name, put some respect on what he does on the field. And let's just see where he gets drafted. Because at the end of the day, man, that's all we care about. We want to see him produce. I want to see every player succeed. Do I like some more than others? Of course. But I want to see them all see some level of success because that's what they've worked their entire lives towards. And for me, if I'm betting my money, Smith's, behind Chase as far as most likely to succeed because that's just how well he played in college, how much he dominated. And I believe there's no reason why he can't do that at the next level. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys another time. Maybe I'll do another video on some other players, but this is just bugging me, man. I just had to get this off my chest. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.